Hey, Hawkeye fans, welcome back. Well, we are into the second episode of the off season, and we kind of accidentally became a wrestling podcast early in the off season. Today, we are interviewing Nelson Brands, and it is such a fantastic interview. We can't wait for you guys to listen to it. There's also been a lot of Hawkeye news, so I'm glad you're back. And this is Talkin Hawks, the off season presented by Hillsbank. Hillsbank is your hometown financial champion, here to help you score some wins. Because at Hillsbank, managing your money is easy. They've got 19 local branches, 40,000 surcharge-free ATMs around the country, and online account access anytime. And plus, Hillsbank is the bank on campus at the University of Iowa. Whether you're a student athlete or a Hawkeye superfan, Hillsbank helps you get in the game. Member FDIC. Okay, hey Hawkeye fans. Today's kind of a weird episode. At least the beginning of the episode is a little bit weird. Matt's not here in the studio with me today. I feel like I'm missing my partner in crime. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to do my best. My entire household, except for me, is sick at the moment. Everybody's got the flu or a cold. It's not a man cold. It might be a man cold. But he was not in the shape to come record a podcast. You guys just didn't want to listen to it. It was a little stuffy. All of the things. So anyway, I'm solo today for this little introduction part. And then a few weeks ago, Matt and I actually recorded an interview with Nelson Brands, which we're going to get to here in a little bit. But this is kind of like an unfortunate day that I have to be solo because there's so much Hawkeye news that has been happening. And we're just going to kind of like briefly cover it all because it's kind of already been covered. And Matt and I, we're not really the type to make speculations or share any crazy clickbaity opinions. You guys kind of know the drill, but just a few different things that, of course, have been happening this off season that we got to talk about. So, of course, our women's basketball team headed to the NCAA tournament. By the time this episode comes out, which will be Monday, what's that date? The 24th? That sound right, Matthew? Yes, Monday the 24th, they will have already played that first round game. So hopefully by the time this comes out, they'll be headed on to the second round and we'll be able to cheer them on. So congratulations to the women's basketball team in making that NCAA tournament appearance. Fran McCaffrey has been let go by the Hawkeyes, and we are sad to see him go. He was the all-time winningest coach in program history. He did a ton of incredible things for the community, for the University of Iowa, for cancer research, him and his wife, Margaret, and obviously two of his sons played at the university, Connor and Patrick. It was a joy to watch them play as well. And yeah, we just wish him all of the best, him and his entire family, wherever the road takes him. I believe in a podcast interview that came out maybe a couple of weeks ago, he had said his coaching career is not done. He will be coaching somewhere next year. So again, we wish Fran all of the best in wherever the road takes him in his coaching career and just thank him for everything he did at the University of Iowa, of course. Let's see, what else? Football got a new running backs coach, Omar Young. He is set to replace Liddell Betts. And Liddell is with the Giants now. And so he moved on to the NFL. But Omar, Coach Young, has had experience with the New England Patriots, the Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers, and the Cleveland Browns. So this is going to be a fantastic addition to the Hawkeye football team. We're super excited for that. And wrestling, like I said, we might have accidentally become a little bit of a wrestling podcast. They just have the coolest personalities and the coolest stories and just different mentalities that Matt and I love to, dig into and chat with them. And anyway, they are at the NCAA tournament as well. And I want to say by the time Monday rolls around, it will be completely wrapped up. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I think it just goes until the 23rd. Anyway, we wish them all the best of luck. Of course, I think the last thing I had seen, and I'm recording this on Friday. Let's see. I think the last thing I had seen is we had sent 5 to the quarterfinals. I want to say that's correct. But again, just wishing them all the best of luck in the NCAA tournament. As I said, we are going to be interviewing Nelson today, and we had recorded this a couple of weeks back. And in the time between when we recorded this interview and when the interview is going to come out, Nelson had posted on his Instagram, and I'm just going to read straight from here. He said, "It pains me to say that my wrestling career has come to an end, but looking back at all the memories and people the sport has given me puts a smile on my face. Although this season was extremely tough on me mentally and physically, it wasn't necessarily a happy ending. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm proud of my accomplishments and what I learned in the sport and have zero regrets. I'm forever grateful for my family, coaches, teammates, and of course, Hawkeye Nation. And he says, cheers to retirement, NRB out. So, as I said, we didn't know that information, and I don't think he knew that information either when we recorded with him just a few weeks back. And so we're, of course, wishing Nelson the absolute best of luck in wherever life takes him in this retirement period post-wrestling. You'll learn kind of what his potential goals and plans are after he is done at the University of Iowa. And yeah, we just wish him the absolute best of luck. I know this season wasn't exactly what he had pictured for himself for his final season. And so yeah, we're just wishing him the best of luck in whatever comes next. And hopefully that's going to be at the Hawkeye Wrestling Academy as a coach. And we'll get into that a little bit more too as we get into this interview. So again, this is super weird to just be recording this all by myself. I don't know if you guys envision listening to just my voice for the last 5-10 minutes, whatever this has been. We miss Matt dearly, but this will actually also be my final kind of like intro part as we kind of like cover. I mean, you guys know how it works. We usually talk about kind of some Hawkeye news, and then we go into our interview in the off season. This will be my final time doing this kind of introduction part. And then Matt's going to be completely solo for the rest of our off season episodes leading all the way up to the Hawkeye football season, because I'm going to have a baby soon. Guys, I'm still pregnant. I was just telling Matthew, I'm like, I swear anybody that sees me that hasn't seen me in a while is like, you're still pregnant? Okay. I'm like, yeah, I feel the exact same way. It's been like 20 years. I completely understand. But I am due in the next 3-ish weeks, somewhere around there. So the next time you'll see me, it'll be the start of the Hawkeye football season. And we'll have 3 kids, which is just absolutely insane to even mention. But anyway, we just appreciate you guys tuning in. You know how the off season works. If you don't, we drop 1 new episode every single month. If you are not subscribed to our Talkin Hawks YouTube channel, you absolutely have to be. And just a little added bonus for you, click the notification bell at the top so you know when we put those new episodes out. Again, we put them out once a month. That's kind of hard to keep track of. You don't want to have to set an alarm on your phone. Let us just tell you when those are going to be coming out. So again, subscribe to that Talkin Hawks YouTube channel. We'll put some links on social media. Make sure it's super easy for you guys to find that. And tell your friends, share on social media, follow us on X, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And we would love to keep up with all of you guys during this off season. We've got some incredible interviews planned. And so without further ado, I think we should just get into this interview, and I should stop talking because I'm super out of breath anyway. Okay, we hope you enjoy it. Here is Nelson Brands.
Hawkeye fans, Big Grove is an official craft brewer of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Whether it's in season or the off season like we are now, join them at any of their 4 Iowa locations in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and Solon, home to the VandeBergs, where you can enjoy fan favorites like Easy Eddie, Citrus Surfer, and the new neighborhood beer, all while cheering on the Hawks.
Big Grove Brewery, your official watch party headquarters of the Iowa Hawkeyes all year long. Go Hawks! Big Grove Brewery, an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Enjoy responsibly. Matt, did you know that Iowa City Tire does more than just tires?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've been servicing vehicles in the corridor for like 40 years.
Right, but did you really know that before someone had to tell you?
No.
Check out how they're doing things in a very different way at Iowa City Tire and Service, where service actually comes first.
The Appliance Barn offers a wide range of high-quality appliances at unbeatable prices.
Whether you're in the market for a new refrigerator, dishwasher, or washing machine, they've got you covered.
They also have a delivery and setup department to ensure your appliances get delivered and installed quickly. To find out more, visit appliancebarn.com.
Okay, Talkin Hawks fans, I think in the off-season, we might have inadvertently become a wrestling podcast. We've got another wrestler in the building. Everyone, please welcome Nelson Brands.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
We're so glad to have you.
Yeah, this will be a fun experience.
I hope so.
First time podcast, so this will be cool.
This is your first time on
Yeah.
a podcast?
Oh yeah.
Maiden voyage.
I feel like big time. I know. Yeah.
Nice. It's a good one to start with.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to cover some things that are probably, I would say, common knowledge for most people, but for people like we're pretty much a football podcast, like during football season. In the off season, we like to explore like all the other all the other sports at Iowa. So if we have a bunch of football listeners and they don't know Nelson Brands, then we just want to cover all of the things that might be common knowledge, but not common to them. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
good.
Where are you from?
I'm from Iowa City, Iowa, right here. Been all over the country for my dad's coaching positions, etc. Went to Chattanooga, went to OTC in Colorado Springs, and then ended up back here about 10 years ago now.
Oh.
So yeah, then
So like right before high school.
6th grade, 5th grade.
5th grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's about when I started wrestling too. Because a lot of people think that I start really early because of my dad, but no, I started 5th grade was my first tournament, and I started practice like end of 4th grade. But,
Really?
yeah, so
Is there
kind
a
of late.
reason for that?
Well, my dad never pushed me into it, but all my friends were wrestling. So, I mean, if all your friends are wrestling, you're obviously gonna wrestle.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I ended up wrestling on my own. I was just like, hey, let's get into a practice. So I ended up at Ubasa Trained, which is a local club here, and that's when I started. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That is very unexpected, I think.
Yeah, I was not prepared for that. Our son's at the Hawkeye Wrestling Academy with Marinelli, and he's 3.
Oh, yeah.
And I figured you would have been wrestling as soon as you came out the womb.
No, obviously I was around it. I mean,
Yeah.
especially in Colorado Springs, I was going to the OTC with my dad. So, but I wasn't doing anything wrestling. I was just being a kid. And I think that's really cool that he did that for me, I think, because I don't know if I would have been burned out or not, or if I would have been a better wrestler. I don't really care. I just like the way it turned out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so. That is a really good point, though. We talk a lot about like having your dad as your coach, because there's a lot of kids, or a lot of guys that come in here, and a lot of girls that come in here that say, yeah, my dad was my high school coach, or my dad was my middle school, this or that. And we've talked about a lot, like, oh man, is Matt going to coach like our son? Like, well, I coach our daughter. Like, what's that going to look like? I don't know what I'd coach her in, maybe cheerleading. But we've just talked a lot about like, man, I wonder what that dynamic is like. And obviously you're at the Division I level with that dynamic. So we'll get to that for sure. But wrestling started in 4th grade for you. What was some of the other sports you were involved in as you were growing up?
Well, my first real sport was hockey, but I was not nothing crazy. It was in Colorado. It was hockey ice, and so did like a little hockey club for a little bit. I don't remember if I liked it or not, but I don't think I did.
Okay.
But now that I look back, it was kind of cool. Hockey's a pretty cool sport.
I just talked about, there's like a thing I was scrolling through on Instagram. There's a guy, I think it's Patrick Subban, who's a defenseman for, I want to say the New Jersey Devils, kind of sounding off on the difference between the NHL and NBA. And he talked, and as he was talking, I was like, that's a wrestler mentality, just on ice.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the same thing. You want to fight, you want to like actually fist fight and go. I
Yeah.
feel like it's the same thing.
I like watching NHL. I don't watch it a lot, but I was a big Bruins fan in high school just because I'm all Boston guy. I don't know why. I've been to Boston like twice, but really cool.
So like New England, like the Patriots, the Celtics, all of
I'm
it.
just a big Brady fan. Yeah. Patriots are good now.
How sad were you when he went to the Bucks?
I wasn't really sad. Didn't, do his thing. He still won another Super Bowl.
I was saying, he
I
got
was still a
another
Bucks
one.
fan when he got to the Super Bowl, but
That's fair.
yeah, it's just a Boston fan in general. And I think hockey, especially like the fighting aspect, I know it's not like part of the sport, but it kind of is. It's
You don't get in trouble for it.
Yeah,
You just sit in the penalty box for a little
Exactly.
bit.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool too. I've always liked that. And the fighting aspect in general, like UFC and stuff, is really appealing to me, I guess.
Is that something you would ever do?
I don't know. I need a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, just maybe. I would say
Okay.
maybe right now.
I don't know how I feel about that sport. It just, I don't know. If
Do
my
you
kid
do
wanted
others?
to do that,
Sorry, go ahead.
my kid wanted to do that, I feel like I would just, no, that's a hard line. No way.
Oh.
So dangerous.
I don't know. There's a lot of dynamics for wrestling too that are. It's so tough on your body. And I don't think people really realize that, but like training for wrestling in general is so hard, and especially the college season, the D1 season for wrestling is just every single one of your opponents is just this high tier wrestler, and in UFC you're fighting once every 4 months max, maybe probably twice a year, 3 times a year, and wrestling, you're making weight and you're wrestling another formidable opponent every week, sometimes twice a week. So I don't know. And then the non-training aspect of it too. Like the UFC guys, I know they do like training camps, and so that's also different. So they'll be off for months at a time, and then all of a sudden they'll go into like a month hard training phase, get their weight down, get in shape, etc. A little different. Wrestling's like year round.
Right. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Matt?
Well, I was gonna ask if you had done any other like martial art type stuff. Because like when I think UFC, I think of like being able to do a lot of different things.
I want to though. Like, I think jujitsu would be cool to learn.
Oh, for sure.
I think I'd be decent at it. I mean, one of my good coaches, in high school, he came from PA. His name is Jim Kelly. He actually runs Citadel BJJ over across town, and he told me that wrestlers like pick it up fast. I mean, it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, but
You just get to
I
great.
think that'd be fun to.
I'd say it's more throws and stuff like that, right? As a comparative.
Yeah, I
to
think
wrestling.
wearing the gi would be not my favorite part. But you can do no gi, he said. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll come try that after I'm done wrestling here at Iowa.
For those that don't know, gi is the uniform that they wear. Basically, a lot of them use the collar to throw and
Exactly,
everything like that, right?
And chokes, and they do all sorts of stuff with the little. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, we actually, before we took our son to the Hawkeye Wrestling Academy, we took him over to Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, this was what? This
He
past
probably was
summer.
2.5, 3.
And we're like, we just need something to get his like, that violent energy out because he's very into like tackling and all the things. So anyway, we're like, we'll try that. I think he got a little scared of Jim. Which Jim?
He's got a big beard.
Yeah, he's like an intimidating. I was a little scared of him. He's like, you got to get him back in here. I was like, I'm just scared of you, man. Alex Marinelli is a little less intimidating, I guess, to a kid.
Marinelli's a good coach.
He is a great coach. Yeah, he's having a lot of fun with it. Okay, so wrestling started in 5th grade. Did you just kind of stick with that then? Did you play anything else in high school?
High school is when I started doing just wrestling.
Okay.
In junior high, I did track, football. I loved football so much. I was too small. And so I think in 7th grade, you're separated by weight. And then 8th grade, they start combining everybody. At least that's what I did. Mm-hmm. And once I was combined, I was like, this isn't fun anymore.
What position were you?
I played nose guard for when I was in the weight classes because I loved like going underneath the legs and grabbing the quarterback's leg because it was just free tackle every time. I didn't understand I was like, it's so easy, just do that. So they put me there a lot. And then I was on offense, I was fullback.
That makes perfect sense to me. I was like either tailback or fullback. He's hitting a lot of people.
Yeah, I love football so much, especially like the friends. The team dynamic is completely different from wrestling. Wrestling is so independent. Mm-hmm. Even though we're on a team, it's just no one's talking about like your weight cut or it's just everything you do. You just go through that dark, whatever you want to call it, by yourself. And football, I mean, was so much fun because you had all these people on your back helping you out, and but
that's an interesting way to put it. I feel like with wrestling too, and similar to like MMA, this is kind of off topic, but I feel like a big part of it is like the entertainment aspect, like kind of being like, this is gonna sound
not a
bad,
spectacle, but a spectacle, right?
Yeah, a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
especially like the celebrations afterward, like everyone remembers like this, right? Like, well, I don't know, everything that you guys do. Like, what's so funny about that?
No,
They do
that's
that.
great.
But it like that's part of it, right? Is like it's
Yeah.
kind of like a gladiator type thing where you're trying to draw attention.
I think that's why like UFC is so popular, and wrestling obviously has a long ways to go. It is the oldest sport, if you want to say that though. But I think that's where UFC does it so well, and it's a more violent, which is more caters to a bigger audience. Maybe not you, but like
Sure.
for me, I the violence is cool. I think, and then that's where you go back to like the Colosseum in Rome and like the crazy stuff like that. It's a whole new tier, but I think humans in general like to see fights, and wrestling is a form of fighting. It's within the rules though, which is what's so pure and cool about it.
When we had Spencer on, he had kind of talked about that. We had him on last year, kind of right before the Olympics and stuff. But he had kind of talked about like you kind of have to like make a name for yourself in that way as well. Like when he was talking about like the excuses are for wussies thing, he's like, yeah, like that's not really me. Like I'm kind of just out there like I'm a wrestler, but I'm out there to like put on a show too. That's just kind of part of it.
Yeah, for sure. I think the celebration parts and getting those clips, is so huge for any sport really. That's what blows up, especially with social media now. So I think like the excuses for wusses is such a cool. It like caters to so many people.
Yeah,
and things like that happen are huge for anybody.
When it gets more attention on the sport.
Yeah,
like football, you celebrate like that, you get a penalty, and then everybody gets mad. Like, why don't you let them celebrate?
Yeah.
But, like you contrast that with like you can go I'm not gonna say you're gonna parade around the ring, but I mean, like, you can go around and make sure everybody knows you just won, right? There's a different aspect to it, but I like that gladiator analogy too, especially in like Carver, where everything was looking down on you guys and everybody's up, kind of like a legit Coliseum.
Yeah. Carver's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. I think the only place that I really enjoyed competing at was Bryce Jordan, which is Penn State. I mean, it's the same kind of aspect, and they put you on a stage. So like that, it's nerve wracking as hell until you step on the mat and shake hands, and the whistle blows and everything goes out the window. And you hear that all the time from wrestlers, especially. It's just like once the whistle blows, it's just like, oh, it's just a match now. But the nerves before, it's just so hard to deal with. And
I bet.
yeah.
I actually, when you say that, like once the match starts, everything goes out the window. So I had an interview one time. I can't remember who this was.
Oh no.
At intermission, we always interview like an alumni, and so I can't remember his name for the life
That's
of me.
probably a good thing.
But it was a huge, sold out crowd is Iowa State, and I'm like, what do the fans mean to you? And at that point, the answer is like, the fans are everything. We have the best fans in the nation, right? And he goes, honestly, when I'm out on the mat, like, they just don't matter. And I was like,
Oh no.
no, try again.
Like, that might be an honest answer, but this is the fan engagement part.
There you go. There you go.
I was
That's
dying
funny.
inside. I was like, and then what? he eventually came back around to it. But you totally do probably just block out all of the noise that's going on around you. Do you hear your coaches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more you hear them like in between whistles, Like when you rewatch film, you'll kind of be like, oh, I wasn't hearing anything there, and it's loud, and you're like, well, how did I not hear that?
Yeah.
But it's more like in between whistles, like, okay, now my brain's going back to I can look away,
Sure.
So, and then going back to the intermission, is that why you guys are going to the kids and the flexing? All the kids are flexing. I'm kidding, but that's really cool. I like saying that. It's funny. It gets the fans really happy.
Yeah, it's fun. Just a little something to do in between. It's my job.
The kids love it too.
It's always tough after
Yes.
like a really hard loss, though. You had a really hard loss, like a bad match or whatever, and then they're like, "Okay, Laura, go on out there and do the smile cam." Sounds good. The team's gonna love this.
Oh no!
But
That's
maybe you
funny.
guys aren't paying attention at that point. But you were gonna ask something. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, like, I was gonna go back to like high school, so you kind of zeroed in on wrestling. Well, what was the recruiting like?
No,
Was there even like much that took you, that kind of took you away from potentially Iowa, or was it? Iowa through and through.
You guys probably remember Tony Ramos. He went to UNC, Northern Carolina, not Colorado, and he recruited me a little bit. I definitely was looking into them to a degree. It's as much as I could, I was coming here regardless.
Sure.
More than likely.
Well, another coaches got to think that too, of like, do I even bother calling this kid? Because I feel like he's already going there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Ohio State reached out to me, and Nebraska, Mark Manning. My dad worked under Mark Manning, so Mark Manning kind of had a relationship with my family already. So he reached out, and I let them all know I was talking to him. And after my second state title, which would have been my junior year, Tom just came over to my house, and my dad wasn't like a recruiter at all. He said, I'm going to be as your dad. You can go wherever you want. And he told me this multiple times. You do not have to go to Iowa. And Tom didn't say that. Tom came over and he goes, we got to cut this off. You're going to come to Iowa. I want you to recruit now. It's up to you, but I want you to recruit now. Something along those lines. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. If you want me, I'll just do it. So it was said and done. And then I had called up Mark Manning, called up Ramos, and just said, hey, I'm going to go to Iowa, but thanks for pursuing me. It's really cool.
That's a good recruiting story nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like people might expect like, oh, maybe you did it a different way or went like a more like different route, but that actually is totally on brand.
Yeah, I was gonna go to like the
Unintended.
official visits too. I was gonna have them scheduled and stuff, and then Tom came over. Cut it off. And I like that a lot, and that's what I love about Tom and Terry. They're just so high strung. I think it's crazy, but because I'm not like that at all. At least I don't think I am.
Sure.
This is a lot more relaxed than I anticipated the interview being, even this far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say you're a lot less.
I get it. People tell me that it doesn't really make sense how I'm not high strung with how high strung my dad is, and they're great. Their passion for the sport is so cool to me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. competing and coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, which one is your dad? Is it Tom or Terry?
Terry's my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get that all the time? Like, oh, which one is?
Actually, not as much as you think. No. Yeah. Yeah. People usually don't ask me that. It's more of a, like, they say your dad's. Sometimes I'm like, what do you mean my dad's? Terry's my dad. Tom's my uncle. Yeah, because they just mess up like that. It's just it's just funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You're talking about them being high strung. One thing that I really like is like seeing different themes or how different things can happen. Like, so how long have Tom and Terry been here at Iowa? Do we know what year?
07?
07?
06?
So you're talking almost 20 years.
Yep.
KF has been here since 2000, Coach Ferentz. And thinking like how differently they coach, but in different arenas, right? Like KF is probably, he doesn't show much emotion. You'll see a little golf clap if there's a big play, but he also doesn't get super angry about anything. He's there, successful. And then obviously, I'm going to say your dads, but Tom and Terry, like they're slamming on the thing, trying to get everybody amped, but also very successful in a different arena. It's just cool to me to like see how many different ways there is to do something and still pump out successful teams, but successful people too.
Like I will go back to the team aspect. I think the team aspect's so cool. Even in the lifting, you're having everyone pump up. When you're lifting and wrestling, it's just like kind of quiet, just music's going.
Really?
Yeah. And so, I think seeing the different coaching aspects also plays into the sport, and then also the personalities, you get.
Yeah.
And maybe Tom and Terry need to chew on some gum to
I don't know if that would even help.
That's ended up with the crowd so quick.
I'm just thinking of
just take it out, throw it.
Maybe at the other bench, actually, not the crowd. At the Nebraska duel, just I guess a couple weeks back because we're in February now. Your dad was like just running up through the stands. It was after whose win was that after? Buchanan's. Yep.
Yeah.
He like runs up, comes back down, and there was that Nebraska fan that was sitting in front of the student section. Did you see any of this?
Yeah. Driving me nuts.
He's like right in front of his face right after Buchanan's win. That was so good. I was like, that's it. That's what we like. That's what Iowa wrestling fans love, though.
He did a couple things too that the fans didn't see and a lot of people didn't see.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Pretty funny, but he went over to the cop. I don't know if you guys heard him say this. He went over to the cop and he goes, "Hey, get that Nebraska fan out of the student section." And the cop was just like, "What do you want me to do? Get him out of there. I'm going to drag him up to the parking lot and kill him." That's what he said. And if no one knows Tom and Terry is like I grew up with them, so I know them really well. They're not kidding. They're not kidding, but they are being playful to a degree. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's just they're joking, but they're not.
Exactly. They're so passionate that they have to just go jump from here to here instead of going here, Yeah. And I tell my dad that all the time. I'm just like, hey, tone it down a little bit. And he's just so excited. I mean, if you watch my dad's matches or Tom's matches from college or at the international level, it's just great. Like the antics and this is so it was so fun to watch, and I obviously wasn't born yet, but I wish I could have seen that live.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of DeSanto a little bit. As close to it as you can get. Yeah.
He was one of my favorites to watch. We talked about it all the time. Just that he was like, there was just something like there was enough crazy there that you were like, yeah, like I want that guy in my team. Like if he wasn't on your team, you'd be like, that guy's crazy. Like, what's wrong with it? But when he's on your team, you're like, yeah, like we love that about him,
Yeah.
So then I guess going with your dad coaching you, what is that experience like? Like, how does that kind of get separated? Obviously, with the recruitment process, it got separated in a way where he said, look, like, it's your dad. I'm not going to get in on this kind of thing. But now, like, he's both. So how do you guys kind of manage that?
Well, once the recruiting was done, like when I said Tom came over, cut it off. You're committing to Iowa. I was like, all right, sounds good. That happened. All right, sounds good. I'm a Iowa Hawkeye. My dad also had a conversation with me at a later date, right before I was probably getting ready to move out. He goes, now I'm going to be your coach, right? So he had never coached me. My high school coach was Mark Ryland, rest in peace. He died back during from COVID, which was a bummer, but he was the best. Like he made me enjoy wrestling. He really made me a better wrestler too, I think, because of the enjoyment process. You know, if you don't enjoy something, you're not going to be very good at it because you don't want to do it. And once I transitioned from high school into college, my dad made sure he's like, hey, I'm going to be your coach now, right? Because I'd always gone to him for questions or for help in the wrestling sense, just asking him. He had never pushed it on me ever. Like I'm being, people don't believe me, and I'm serious. Like he did not work on any moves unless I asked. He did not. Wow. I did not ask. He did not tell me how to cut weight unless I asked. And I didn't ask him a lot of questions, you know, because he's such a high strung guy. So my relationship with him growing up was a little standoffish. And then going on to like my junior year of high school, all of a sudden, all right, now this guy's pretty cool, you know. He's your dad. You're starting to be buddies with your dad. And so now I'm really close with him, even more now than I was as a junior in high school. But I started asking questions. And then that's when I was like, okay, he's a pretty good coach too, as well as a dad, you know. And
it's funny how you had to like validate that in your own head.
Yeah.
You couldn't just like see it being done.
Exactly. And that's when he told me, he's like, all right, now I'm going to be your coach. So now I can pursue you, you know. I don't have to just wait for you to ask me questions. Coaches have to be a dick a little bit, you know. Otherwise you're not going to be the best form of athlete you could be. And I noticed that right away when I got into the room, you know. He had never seen me go through a practice really, except for in club practices a little bit when he would be off to the side. But he had never seen me go through a high level practice. And I am not I don't want to say hardworking, but I'm not like the most nose to the grindstone wrestler. I'm more of an explosive wrestler. I like to wrestle a little bit more athletically, right? And when I'm tired, it's not a good scene, you know? Like I'm going to be honest. When I'm tired, I'm going to be
tired.
I'm going to have an attitude, right? I'm going to have an attitude. And he saw that quick and he'd try just on me all the time and yelling at me. And it was good. It made me better, right? I got into better shape and all that stuff. But yeah, the coaching. So now when I'm in the room with him, I would say he's my coach. And then now when I'm out of the room with him, he's my dad. And it's very easy to control. Like there's no overlapping or annoyances. It's all easy, which is surprising to me and probably surprising to a lot of people. Yeah.
Right. What was it like growing up with him as a dad? Was he like always on you kind of thing? Or was it more of I don't know, like, I think people probably have a preconceived notion of like, oh, he was probably a drill sergeant, right? Like all those things.
Not so, like I said, he didn't help me with wrestling at all, or he didn't coach me in wrestling at all. So not in that sense, but yes, you could tell he's high strung. So when I was growing up with him, he's super like not drill sergeant, more like, why are you playing video games? Get off your butt, stop playing video games. And I'd be like, well, what do you want me to do? And I remember one day he was just like, he just came downstairs, grabbed the controller out of my hand. I love video games. If you don't know that, I love video games. I play way too much video games.
What do you play?
Well, I built a computer in like 2021, so I game pretty hardcore.
Dang, okay.
I play like Rust and Valorant and all the PC games that are.
That's legit.
Yeah, it's not good. I'll quit once I'm done with college. But anyways, he came downstairs, took the controller out of my hand, and he goes, "Get outside and go dig a hole. Seriously, go dig a hole." I go, "What? What?" I'm trying to think. I was probably a freshman in high school, maybe 8th grade.
Oh, so you're real mad too.
Oh yeah, I was so mad. Yeah. No, our main fights, we didn't fight very often, me and my dad. But when it came to video games, it was you get 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day. That's one Fortnite match. That's prime Fortnite. Let me play 15 games of Fortnite a day. You know, and he goes, "Get outside and dig a hole," and I was like, No way. He's not making me do this. And I went outside and I started digging a hole. It was actually kind of fun. I dug a pretty deep hole. It was like 6 foot. It was like a 6 foot hole. And I was pretty proud of myself. We have some acreage where they live. But anyways, we have some acreage where we live. So I have like there's the hole still out there.
From that time?
Yeah, it's pretty deep. Pretty deep hole. I was bored. Really bored. Yeah.
Oh my.
That's great. When did you know to come back?
From the hole digging?
Yeah.
When it was deep enough.
Yeah. This is probably good.
I was like, "Hey, it's deeper than the shovel. Can I come inside?" Oh, I'm kidding. But he just, video games were no, you know. And another thing that's always stuck in my brain was he filled up these 2 5-gallon buckets with gravel, and that's not light. That's like, I don't know what it is exactly, probably 55, 60 pounds a piece. And he would put them down in the driveway, at the end of the driveway. Our driveway's long. It's a gravel driveway out in the country. And he'd put it at the end of the driveway, so at the road. And I get home from high school, he'd be driving in the driveway. I'd drive home, I'd walk inside. He'd be home, he'd go, hey, I need those pails of gravel in the front of or up by the garage. I'm like, okay, sounds good. The first time you asked me, it's gonna just catch on here. I carry it all the way. I go, okay, so can I grab the 4-wheeler? No, you got to carry it. Okay, all right. You want me to carry it? So I agree with that. Made me stronger, whatever. Do my farmer's walk all the ways. I want to say our driveway's probably 100 yards, probably 110 yards. It's a long driveway. Sure. And get to the garage door, go inside, do my thing, play video games, whatever. The next day, driving in, hey, I need those gravel buckets down at the end of the driveway by the road. I'm not kidding. This went on for probably 5 days, 6 days. And I'm going, okay, I'm getting annoyed now. Like, I'm getting home. I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, now he's going to tell me to move the gravel buckets again. I don't know what made him do this, but anyways, it was like 5-6 days in. I didn't think he was home. I thought he was at practice. It might have been a Wednesday, where Wednesdays are our day off. So he was home. I didn't think he was home. So I got the 4-wheeler.
Oh no.
And I put him in the back of our little wagon for the 4-wheeler. I drove it up there and I put him there. Because I knew he texted me. He texted me and like, hey, make sure you get those pails done. Oh, it was just crazy. It was so crazy. But he caught me moving it with the 4-wheeler.
What'd he say?
Go move it the right way.
So you had to drive it back and then walk it back.
Yeah. And I think he had me doing that for probably 15, 16 days total. And it was annoying, but it was kind of like a character building thing, you know, like, okay, here's your job. Here's your job. Do your job. You're done with your job. Okay. Now you can do whatever you want, you know? And that was kind of cool. Looking back at it, or when I was doing it, I was so mad, but looking back, it was kind of cool.
That's hilarious. And you know what's even funnier is he was probably at practice and he's like, Tom, I'm going to text him about those pails. And they're just like laughing about
it. One more thing he did. He did some funny things.
Okay. Need a new roof, gutter, or siding in Eastern Iowa? Call JB Roofing and Construction, the local and reliable roofer with over 20 years of experience. They do one roof at a time, unlike others who juggle multiple projects and cut corners. They also serve a 45-mile radius around Kelowna and help you with any insurance claims. Don't wait. Call 319-656-ROOF or visit their website, jbroofingkelowna.com, for a free estimate. JB Roofing and Construction, the small town roofer you can trust. Hey, Hawk fans, looking for the perfect spot to fuel up before or celebrate after a Hawkeye win? Look no further than Marquee Pizzeria, located in the vibrant Iowa River Landing.
Their wood-fired pizzas have truly changed the pizza game.
Whether you're cheering on the Hawkeyes or just searching for a delicious meal, Marquee Pizzeria is the place to be. Swing by and experience the best pizza in Iowa. Go Hawks.
When it comes to keeping our home comfortable, we trust only the best. Loudon Plumbing and Heating. Whether it's fixing a leaky sink, keeping the house cool, or making sure the furnace runs smoothly in winter, Loudon Plumbing and Heating is our go-to. For reliable service, trust the corridor's best. Loudon Plumbing and Heating.
I love Estella's because it's fresh, from the fresh grilled steak to salsas to their fresh pressed tortillas.
I love Estella's because it's quick. We can get in and out, and it doesn't feel like fast food. It feels like fresh food quick.
We both love Estella's because it's made with love. They put a lot of pride in their food and customer service, and they are locally owned.
That's Estella's Fresh Max. Fresh food made quick with love.
I always mowed my grandma's lawn with a push mower, and it's a pretty big yard, but I'd mow it, and you know how those push mowers, they have assisted wheels? Mm-hmm. Well, he cut the assisted wheels so that the wheels wouldn't turn. And just one day I was having trouble. This is when I was like 8th grade, 9th grade. I'd mow my grandma's lawn every week, all summer, just for her. And one day it was getting harder. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't know that he cut the assisted wheels until probably 4 years ago. He told me when I was in college. I go, you made me push this lawnmower up a pretty steep hill, and there's the rung or the bar in between the bars of the push mowers, you know, I'd have to like get there and then here and like drive my feet like I was like I don't know. He just surprised me always. And like I said, he told me that in college. That's like 6 years later.
Yeah. That's amazing.
But it's so simple.
Yeah.
But it's
simple.
marvelous.
Yeah.
I'd say.
He's giving me a lot of
So
ideas
good.
on how to train our boys.
Yeah.
I like that.
You want one more?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, this one's a little bit more for like not the controversial side, but it involves spanking. Okay. I was young. I was 4th grade, maybe 5th grade. Just like, no, I was probably younger. It's the 3rd, 4th grade. And I was like kind of right where the spanking ends. All right. This is like when it's about to be done. I stopped caring about spanking. Spanking didn't bother me. I'd always been like, I made up this little saying to myself. I'd say, pain is my best friend. I'd say that when I was little. Like I'd wreck my bike. I'd say, pain is my friend.
You thought of that on your own?
Maybe some assistance.
Okay.
But I in my head, I think I thought of it on my own because pain never really bothered me either because of how my parents treated it or whatnot. But it never really bothered me. So when I'd be a terrible kid and I'd time to get spanked, I wouldn't care. Spank me, whatever. It hurts, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. So what he had me do, and I've told guys on the team this, and they think it's really smart. I'll see what you guys think. He made me hit him with the belt.
Oh, no.
And I'd be bawling. No, don't make me hit you. And I just had to hit him, right in like the shoulder, like chest area. And if it wasn't hard enough, he'd say, you got to hit me harder than that. And I'd be bawling.
Oh, no,
That shaped me up
man.
real quick.
Wow.
I would be
So did he
sad.
spank you prior to, or like that's how you walk into it?
No, he knew I didn't care about the spanking. He got to the point where he's like, okay, this kid doesn't care about that. So he made me hit him, and that was a one-time thing done. I was distraught.
Oh, whoa.
I was like,
Wow.
I'm not disrespecting my mom ever again. I was like, I don't want to hit my dad. That was sad.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's like reverse
worked.
psychology. Yeah.
it
I've
worked.
never heard of that before.
No, me either.
I think he saw it somewhere online, which is funny, like just like a parental guide or whatever, which is crazy. I thought maybe he thought of it himself, but
Hey, it sounds, yeah. I would assume that too.
yeah, interesting. Take what you will for that.
Yeah. I don't know if I have the
I'm
I don't have the heart
flabbergasted.
for it. That's so
Yeah,
crazy.
it worked.
I feel like Dax would like to hit me.
Yeah, he probably
He
like,
likes to
sure,
tackle
yeah,
me right
sounds good.
That's
Oh,
funny.
that's great. That's really great. So what is what's the dynamic like between Tom and Terry when they get together? Like you guys are having like a family get together, like are they going at it?
Well, they're two very competitive individuals, so you can kind of see where that goes. It's toned down so much though
Okay.
over the years. Like I don't think they fist fought. I don't think they fought for a long time, you know. I know when we were in Colorado, when we'd always switch Christmases, right? So Tom's family would come to us, or we'd go to them, and every time the Christmas there was a fight, and I'm not talking just a verbal fight. It was a fight, and they're scary to watch, but looking back at it, it's so funny. You know, like how you guys are what are you guys doing? You guys fist fighting right now? I just
At
love it so
Christmas?
much.
I feel like at that point you just like bring a mat, put it in a corner, and be like, when you do it, just go over there.
It's like they're children again, you know, and that was years ago. Like I said, they haven't fist fought in years. They're too old for it.
Sure. Do they still get on the mat, right? They get practice. and stuff?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mhm.
My dad's knees are so shot.
Really?
So I know that he loved getting on the mat. I know he got on the mat all the time with the college guys. Not so much now.
Mhm.
He was with Spencer all the time. You know, he went with Spencer all the time. Every single warm up for nationals, he would just get tough. You know, strap on the knee pads, whatever. And it looks like it hurts, but he's that's what he's good at. So he looks good, but it looks like it hurts.
Sure.
And yeah, his knees are shot right now, so not as much. And you know, you get to the age, especially. I mean, I'm my 7th year in college, which I can't
That's
believe. And I
crazy.
never would have taken the 7th year either if it wouldn't have been for last year. And I'm sure you guys are going to ask me about that stuff too. But like because of the gambling, I was like, okay, well now I'll come back one more time.
Sure.
But the wrestling takes such a toll on your body, and we're talking about that. But yeah, no, they get on the mat a little bit,
Uh-huh.
not as much now.
What is the most I don't want to say, I guess, yeah, what's the most like common injuries that you see with wrestling, whether it be like while you're wrestling or after, like kind of just how it affects you?
Like Like examples or
Yeah, I would say, like, is it usually like, I mean, with like basketball, a lot of times like your knees go bad. With
yeah.
football, a lot of times it's like shoulders, AC joint, like that kind of
Mm,
stuff. What is it usually for wrestling, would you say?
I'd say knees are really popular, which I had never had a serious knee injury until a month and a half ago. I popped my LCL, grade 3 LCL, so I don't have an LCL anymore on my left knee, which is so annoying.
Oh,
It's more annoying than painful.
why? What does it do?
It feels like it buckles a little bit,
Oh,
like it
okay.
slides, and that's weird feeling, and it
So it's
doesn't
more of a stability ligament, right?
exactly, yeah.
On the outside.
Yeah, outside, yeah. So I popped my it was drilling. I wasn't even going live.
Mm.
So you just kind of know that you're getting a little old. But if I popped my LCL and then I grade 1 MCL. So my left knee's all been bothering me. That's why I was off the mat for so long.
Sure.
Thank goodness we followed the science and got back, 8.5 weeks. I think it's supposed to be 8 to 12 weeks. I think we put it right to 7 weeks, 6 days.
Wow.
But
My goodness.
You're feeling good now.
yeah, I feel pretty good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Dang. So mostly knees.
Knees, yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot of concussions, I don't think.
Okay.
You're not really. I headbutt when I wrestle a little bit, not hard. I'm not within the rules.
That sounds like such a Brands thing to say.
Yeah.
I had bet enough.
Yeah.
Enough to keep it legal.
Right.
That's why sometimes I'll tape my head, but no concussions really. You'll see necks, like chronic neck injuries, so much lower back injuries. You're bent over. You're bent
Oh.
over wrestling.
Right.
Your hip flexors are so tight.
Sure.
Which is so you gotta stretch those so much. If I were to tell like a younger high school me or high schoolers right now, stretch your hip flexors, because you sit down and play video games, then you go bend over and wrestle. You're
Mhm.
never stretching your hip flexors.
Yeah.
And that's what Jesse Donnerworth told me one time when I probably second year in college. I was like, my eyes were just like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no kidding. And it affects way more than you think it does, the hip flexors.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You makes your hamstrings weak, makes your glutes weak, all that stuff
Yeah.
in the long run.
When it comes to the toll on your body, do you think it's more the physical, like actual wrestling, or the getting your body ready to wrestle?
Like the
So I feel like
training.
cutting weight and stuff like that, I feel like is,
Both.
I mean, now I was on a weight gain list, so I always like it's just pound more shakes or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine like having to cut weight, and you've wrestled at a couple different weight classes. Like, how does that play into, I guess, how you're able to perform?
Yeah, wrestling 184 versus 174 wasn't too bad for me, because 184, I was pretty small 184 pounder. People say I'm a bit like everyone Twitter online.
You look yoked.
Yeah, well,
For what it's
thanks.
worth.
But they say I'm like he's a way too big at 74. Why is he going 84? I'm really not that big of a, like, it's not that bad of a weight cut, and wrestling is a weight cutting sport, yes, but if you do it right, it's not that hard.
Mhm.
And that the freshmen, like, I'm not a huge mentor guy. Like, I don't want to push my thoughts onto people that much unless they want to hear it. And sometimes I'll talk to the freshmen, especially when they're having trouble cutting weight. I'm like, hey, don't cut water out. Do not cut water out. And that's where people make a mistake. And you've never really cut weight. I don't know if you've cut weight.
No. Well,
but it's a
in a
big,
few months here, yeah. I'll be calling you.
there you go.
Like, get this off.
It's not about the water, it's about more your lifestyle consistently. And then 24 hours before you're weighing, now it's time to, okay, now you're going to be hurting a little less water. Not no water, because then you have no energy at all. Whether you're still eating too. You're not cutting calories completely out, because if you cut calories completely out, then you can't work hard, then you can't lose weight. Because I'll be a lot over before like day before weigh-ins, and
Do you weigh in the day of the meet, or do you weigh in the day before?
for the meets day
Yeah.
of
Day
2
of,
hours,
okay.
2 hours before,
Okay.
which it was 1 hour last year, so this is a new thing. 2 hours, or I think I didn't wrestle last year, so I think it was 2 hours last year, and
Gotcha.
yeah, so you don't cut water out and you don't cut food out. You wean yourself off of the calories and the water over time. Otherwise, it'll be awful and it will be a bad weight cut. Because I mean, I'll lose if I got good calories in me and I got enough water in me, I'll lose. I mean, I could easily lose 11 pounds in an hour, easily. Yeah, easily. After the first day of Big Tens last year, 2 years ago, I had a migraine bad, and so I had to I took a migraine pill, and I'm like hurting bad, so I'm pounding water. more water and more food than I normally would. So after that first day, you wrestled your last match. Now let's see how much I'm over. Oh no, here we go. Step on the scale, 12 and a half over, you know? And I lost that in an hour and a half.
Doing what? What were you doing?
A lot of running, a lot of biking with a coat on.
With a coat on.
Yeah. And sweats.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Pain's your friend. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like we had guys that would be
Pain's your
over, but they would normally just get in the hot tub before and then hop on the bike, like you said with that. But 11 pounds, like guys would lose 13 pounds at practice, but that's a 2.5 hour outside practice.
Yeah.
I can't imagine losing 11 pounds in an hour.
Yeah, that's where like the freshmen don't really understand that. And I'm trying. That's like the one thing that I will try to mentor on, because I know how much it hurts to have a bad weight cut, like, especially learning from high school. Like it's just so dumb. Don't make it that bad. It doesn't need to be that bad.
So then, do you try to stay around? Let's say it's 174. Are you like, if I'm floating between 178 and 180, I feel good enough to train, but I know that I'm close enough to where it's not a drastic weight cut?
Exactly.
Is that something? Okay.
Yeah, and because of the injury, I'm much heavier than that, which is a pain in the butt. But I mean, I get it off, and I'm still feeling pretty good after my 2 hours before my match.
Gotcha.
You know, right now I'm probably walking around. Right now, let's say, I wish I had a scale so I could see how close I was, but I bet you I weigh 183.8 pounds right now.
Oh, so you're up there.
Yeah. But that's only 9.8. Like
only 9.8.
It's easier than you think. Like once you get in the routine of.
Sure.
I guess this is your 7th year doing it.
Yeah, it is my 7th year.
That's in the college.
Yeah.
I didn't do it last year though, so there's my excuse.
It's funny you say 183.8, like to the point, because I mean,
I bet you I'm within 0.2. I bet you. I wish we had a scale here.
I wish we did too. Because when Hugh had to be like gaining weight constantly, he would like take a shirt. I'd be like, how much do you think I weigh right now? I'd be like 180. And I could almost always guess it.
It was pretty close.
To the 10th.
Yeah.
You get to that point where you can tell just by looking at your body or how like your clothes fit or whatever it is. Yeah. Right now, what are you?
I actually haven't weighed myself in a long time. I'm probably
stopped doing that after college.
Because we weigh in like every Monday, and I was always on the weight gain list, so I would weigh in probably 2 or 3 times a week, and that's in season, out of season, just making sure that you're there and growing, and then you get the weight sheet so you know everybody who's on and who's off. But I came in at 162 and I left at 194 ish. But like some of those guys, like Ike Bucker, who's I don't know what team he was on last, but I think he's going for another year here. In free agency, he came in, I want to say around like 210, 220 as like a tight end, and left at 315.
Oh, wow.
To be a lineman.
Wow.
So crazy.
So most of us are on that trajectory of like, how do you just gain more weight? Like, I mean, they had these big Sir bars that were 600 calories. Like, just smash those while you're in meetings watching tape.
That's just
like
a whole
full
different
day for
thing.
you.
Yeah, it's a whole different.
Like, wake up in the middle of the
world.
night at 2 a.m. to have a protein shake. And,
Yeah, wow.
And to have, I would eat frozen pizzas before bed, but.
Yeah, I can get big in the summer, but like it's not really good big. You know? I'm lifting a lot, but it's still a little.
Yeah.
You know.
Video games big.
There you go.
Oh, that's good.
You gotta go
That's
dig another
good.
hole, then you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, aside from video games, though, you have like a very interesting hobby of climbing mountains. Is that right? Hiking?
I love it. Yeah.
That is so great. How did you get into that? When you lived in Colorado, was that part? No?
No,
Okay.
I wish I was too young.
Okay.
I wish, because I could look out my living room window and I could see Pikes Peak, which is one of the 14ers.
Okay.
And I'm sure a lot of people that are listening to this will not know what a 14er is, but a 14er is a 14,000-foot mountain. I don't even know if you guys do.
I did
But
not.
yeah, so it's a 14,000-foot mountain, and there's 58 of them in Colorado.
Wow.
And I'm a big like list checker, right?
Okay.
Like goals. Like I'll create a goal for myself, and then especially if it's like this where it's super easy to see what I got to do, like Mount Princeton, Mount Antero, all these mountains, just check them off.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I got into it. I was out in Telluride with my then girlfriend. I'm married now. She's my wife now, which is cool. But we were out in Telluride, Colorado, and I loved hiking. I already loved hiking, probably just my outdoors. I love being outdoors, which is weird because people don't believe me that I like being outdoors, but I really do. Even though I also like to play a lot of video games.
I guess that is a little bit of both.
It's just kind of both worlds. But wanted to go hiking. We're asking around local people like about hikes and etc. And I was reading whatever hikes in the area and I see 14er. I didn't even know what a 14er was. So I just did my own research, looked at them, found out there's 58, and that really intrigued me right away. I was like, oh, there's 58 in Colorado. Okay. And I was like, hey, let's try to climb this mountain tomorrow. And I love like all the locals are, no, you've never done a mountain. You're not going to want to do this. You won't. There's no way.
Are they trails? Like, is that what you're following? Is just trails, or is it like actually scaling?
Well, yeah, there's different levels. There's a whole, like, I could talk about this for hours, but there's different levels. Quickly, I'll explain it. There's class 1, which the easiest way to explain that would be you're just walking on a trail all the way to the summit. All right, then you're on the summit, you look. There's only one class 1, and that's Pikes Peak, but it's still 24 miles.
Out of the 58.
Yes.
24 miles.
24 miles, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's long. It's a long day. I've done some interesting excursions by myself too, with snowshoes and etc. And I love it so much. And then there's class 2, which would be like, I say, this is how I describe it to people. You have to put maybe a hand down to keep your balance going up, and you're not in danger at all. Now we're getting into class 3, which is where the danger comes in, where you're going to be scaling in spots, and if you fall, you're going to get seriously injured. That's where I would say.
When you say scaling, you're going up something that's
Not
perpendicular to
quite.
the ground?
A little bit. Yeah. No, not quite. A little. Yeah. More of like yeah, there you go.
Okay. A pretty good slope.
Yeah. You're not, if you're athletic and you have a good fitness level, you're fine.
Okay.
Is how I would say it.
Okay.
And then class 4 is when it gets into the real deal. Like you slip, you're dead. And it's real.
How many of those 58 are class 4s?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I would say probably 6, 7.
And have you done any of those yet?
3.
I knew there's going to be at least
By
one.
yourself? Or did you take somebody?
I've done one by myself. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I love doing them. I prefer to do them by myself. I also like taking teammates. I don't want them to listen to this and think that I don't like going with them. I do love going with people, but prefer by myself. There's less. Sorry, Drake. I wasn't babysitting you.
Oh, we have to know that story. Continue.
Yeah. But then there's class 5, which is when the ropes come into play, right? So then that's when you have to be roped up. If you're not a psychopath like the people that you watch on TV. I don't know if you watch some of those documentaries where they're climbing like a 5.17, which is insane, and they're climbing it without ropes. Oh, it scares me. That's too much. Those guys are psychos. And they literally did Alex Honnold. You know that name?
Uh-uh.
Oh, you'll have to watch that on Netflix. It's insane.
Okay.
But Alex Honnold, he did Half Dome El Capitan without ropes. You got to watch the documentary, and it's just insane.
You said it's on Netflix?
And they say that he doesn't have the part of his brain that's the fear factor of his brain. That's what like the research was saying about his brain.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's
Must
just
be nice.
he's just
Wow.
But yeah, those are the levels of the mountains.
Gotcha.
And then you like, so it's 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, etc.
Sure. How many have you done out of the 58?
45.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How do you find time for that?
In the summer,
Just
we
kidding.
our weekends off. I love driving by myself too. Like long distances. I think that's just the most I don't know how to say it, but like clear your mind really
Not
easily.
meditative, but kind of to a point.
Yeah. And so I like doing that. But I'll drive out to Colorado probably 5 or 6 times a summer just for a
Really?
weekend.
That's what, 15 hours?
It depends on where you go in Colorado, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the far corner, the farthest from us would be 17 hours.
Does your mom worry about you when you go do that by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she knows.
Yeah, she knows. Well, I try to tell her. There's been a couple times where she's looked at my location. Holy jeez, he's in Colorado. You know, sorry, I'll let you know next time. You know, I'm an adult. It's okay.
Well, now you're married, so now it's more of
Exactly.
what your wife thinks when you go out by yourself. Does she get scared?
No, she's done 15 of them with me.
Really?
Maybe that seems like high. Maybe 13. But yeah, she
That's
loves them
amazing.
too, which is cool.
That's
And
really
she's done a
cool.
couple of the more technical ones, which is also fun to have her with me. I make fun of her because I say her mood changes with the sun. When I start climbing these mountains, I'm starting at 2 a.m. And a lot of people are like, no, don't start. That's so like, help your sleep. I'm like, no, I'm not getting caught in no thunderstorm. Thunderstorms usually happen from like 1 to 4 p.m. And so I'm like, I'm going to get
Talk
off
about
the
a guy who
mountain
knows
by
what he's
noon.
doing.
You know, so I'm hiking from 2 a.m. to noon. And so when I tell her that we're waking up at 1:30, she's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Wait, you're off the mountain by noon?
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes it depends. Some are 2 days, some are.
I was just gonna say, like, so 2 to 7, you climb up, you get there, you enjoy it, and then 7 to noon, you're back down.
It takes a third of the time, probably 2/3 of the time to get down. It's much faster down.
I guess I didn't think about that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
that makes sense. But
Yeah, much faster down. It's not as hard either.
that's wild.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said her mood changes with the sun. What do you mean by that?
Well, when the sun's not up, she's really crabby. And I've gotten to the point where I just go now and I just leave the crabbiness in the back. When the sun comes up, we'll meet back up and then she can be happy again. But I'll keep her in eye distance. I'm not that big of a dick. But when this is what I love to do. And if you're going to be crabby, then you can walk back there. Oh, I love her.
I love this.
I mean, props to her for even going.
Yeah.
True.
Have you stayed overnight, like on a mountain?
Yep.
Yeah. Does she do that too?
She's done that twice with me.
Wow.
Yeah. She doesn't really prefer that. She likes to have the shower and the bed and all that stuff. I don't care. I'll be dirty if I have to, and sleep in a tent if I have to. And I just love that. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you married the right woman.
Yeah. I think
Tell
I did
us
too.
more about how'd you guys meet?
Just social media, really. I knew her. I met her at a wrestling tournament in high school, but we were just kind of like hi type thing, you know, like let me get your Snapchat. You know?
Yeah.
So you're spending enough game. Okay.
Yeah. But then we went our separate ways. She went to UNI and played soccer.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I went to Iowa, and she just DM'd me one day on Instagram, was like, good luck with your season. I was like, you're not DMing me if you have a boyfriend. So shot my shot.
It worked out.
Asked her on a date at Basta. Went to Basta. It was
Ooh,
our first
that's
date. Yeah.
Good for you.
And then so I kind of knew her. I didn't know her well. And so that was really hard to do that. You know, I would never do something online like that. It wasn't really online. I guess I knew her.
Yeah.
But you made her come all the way to you.
No, I drove to, we met like more, I drove a little bit past Cedar Rapids to pick her up, and then drove her back to Iowa City. I didn't want to be,
I was going to say, like, you, like, if you want to date me.
No,
I was like, sheesh, no.
Yeah, no, not quite. But yeah, I met her pretty far on the north end of Cedar Rapids.
Okay. That's better.
Yeah.
That makes
That
sense.
sounds a lot better.
So she's graduated by now.
Yep.
She's not taking a 7th year in college.
Nope.
No.
She's actually older than me too. She's a year older than me.
Is she
Yeah.
really?
So she graduated from her bachelor's, is that 2 years already? 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then she got her doctorate in occupational therapy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
She loves it.
Mm.
She loves it. She hates feet. So that was not the avenue she was going. So she went hands. And so there you go.
Smart.
Yeah.
Totally opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you have your master's now.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
In what?
Sport and rec management.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't think I would like coaching kids, but when I was banned for gambling last year, I worked with Marinelli's club,
Mhm.
and I would do sessions once a week for him. And I'm glad he asked me, because I didn't think I liked it. Just from camps, I didn't mind camps during the summer. I don't know if you guys know that we do a lot of camps, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And so we're around kids a lot. And I didn't mind camps, but the club is a whole different aspect, because you see the same kid every week.
Mhm.
And, and I did a bunch, probably 13 weeks,
Oh,
maybe.
wow.
Yeah, every week. And so I'd see these kids every week. And then all of a sudden, the 13th week, they're using things that I was teaching in week 2. I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Like I taught you that,
Yeah.
and you're using it now and it's working.
Yeah.
Like,
Not just
that's
a 1 day
sweet.
or 2 day camp.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And you build connections with them, and
You can see the growth. You can see the development.
things that I didn't get to do a lot when I trained wrestling was like play games. So I'd make them play games, because I wish that would have helped me enjoy wrestling even more. And so like I'll play games with them, and I love when they love that.
Mhm.
And I'll make them do push-ups and sprints,
Yeah.
because that also makes you a good wrestler, but you don't want to be too stern.
Mhm.
So I think maybe coaching avenue. I don't know yet.
Yeah,
I got some time.
Well, like we said, our son is in the Hawkeye Wrestling Academy now. So if you hop back into that,
Yeah.
I'm sure he would love it.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. I really enjoyed that, which I didn't think I would have.
Yeah.
Maybe
Very cool. When did you guys get married?
We got married July 2023
Gotcha. How did you propose?
on top of 14er.
No way.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
we climbed, it was Mount of the Holy Cross, And the reason why it's called Mount of the Holy Cross is because when it snows, there's a little crack. I'll call it a crack in the mountain. That the snow stays in that crack because the sun doesn't hit it, and so it looks like a cross.
Oh, cool.
So if you look it up, it's really cool. It's just, but that seemed fitting for the situation, and we climbed that, and I had my sister come with us for like pictures. And
did she know at all? Did she have any idea?
I don't think so. She might be just being nice to me, but I'm pretty good at keeping secrets, so I don't think she really knew. I think she might have knew that something was up a little bit, but yeah.
I feel like if the sister tags along, that might be like a tell.
Little bit, yeah. I think that might have. But she was already with us on the trip, so I don't know.
Oh, so
it might have been. It might have been secretive.
What'd you say? Did you have like a spiel? Did you just have a sentence?
Just a sentence, just like will you marry me kind of thing.
Yeah, he's low key. Speaking of being low key versus high strung, I did want to talk about your mom. What is your mom like? So I've met her one time when we were at an iClub event, and your dad was there speaking, and she kind of tagged along, and I was like, wow, that is the nicest woman I have ever met. She's just so sweet. And we talked for a little while, and you just have to kind of wonder with your dad, like you said, being so high strung, in your words, what is that like that dynamic? Is it like, is she more in charge or is he more in charge? Because I feel like she would have to just be like, okay, Terry, like, come on. Right?
I don't think so. It's hard to do that to Terry.
Okay.
But she was definitely in charge of her own like things, right?
Right.
Like I don't really. The house definitely, like the house has got to be in order.
Yeah.
Was her. My dad's not very organized, which I don't know why he isn't, because I'm really organized. So maybe I get that from my mom.
Sure.
But so like stuff like that. But yeah, I love my mom. She's the only thing that I don't really like about my mom is how mad she gets at my wrestling, like yelling and antics and stuff during my wrestling matches. Because to me, wrestling is just wrestling, and I know to like my dad and to wrestlers, wrestling is it's just wrestling. So just like enjoy the match and don't get all high strung and don't yell. Just enjoy it. It's just wrestling. There's so much more to life than wrestling, than football, than climbing mountains. You know, like life is just life. So, like, why are you yelling at the ref? Just quit yelling at the ref. He's just another person too. It's just that's how I guess that's where I think.
What would be hilarious if you end up being like a college coach, and for someday for them to compare your coaching style versus your dad and uncle's
It'd
style.
Be different.
Would be hysterical.
Yeah.
But maybe it might be very similar once you get to that point.
That's true.
You just never know.
That's true.
You've seen what works.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a really fine line, I think.
Sure.
Where you can jump over the line and jump back.
Yeah. Always jump back. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. As long as it's a jump either way.
Exactly.
It's not like a bit of tiptoe. Like if you're going to go, go. But you can come back.
Oh, that's great. I feel like, and maybe I think just following you on Instagram, maybe you've mentioned some things about like your faith. Does that play a big part in your life, in your wrestling life, just in life in general?
Yeah. Dealing with things that are out of your control everybody experiences it. And I think my number one way of experience with it is just to get in the Word. I think I don't go to church enough, and I'll say that out loud. I don't. I like my Sundays, especially as a college athlete, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, compete. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
I'm being honest here.
Yeah.
But being in the Word and like talking to Him as a person, I think is just so healing. And using the teachings to get through like hard experiences is just so helpful for me.
Yeah. Did that help you kind of get through this past year with not being able to compete, not being able to wrestle, or what was that experience like?
Yeah, that experience was one of the worst I've experienced. More because of the roller coaster that the NCAA was giving me. It was like, you're fully banned, can't ever coach NCAA situations to, you're coming back. To, okay, now you're going to be banned for a year. Oh, you might be coming back. Oh, now you're banned. It was just like unreal. Yeah. And I'm going to give you numbers here. I got banned mainly because of my bets on Iowa football.
Yeah.
I lost a year of eligibility for that. Now, did I gamble on other things that I shouldn't have? Yes, I gambled on NFL. I truly, and people online on Twitter, whatever, they don't believe when I say this, but I truly did not know that I could lose a whole year of eligibility. I did not know it was that serious. Truly did not know that. I knew it was frowned upon. I'm not dumb. I knew it was frowned upon. I did not know that it was game ending. I knew you couldn't bet on yourself. Makes sense. I knew I couldn't bet on my sport. Makes sense. But things that I have no inside information on, no whatever. No, I had no idea, you know, and that just really stung. And I think my appeal meeting with the NCAA was also really hard because they're like, they have like just like a sheet of paper, and we're on a Zoom meeting. And first of all, they wanted to do a phone call without faces. And I asked for a phone call or a Zoom meeting with faces. So or humans, right? You got to have emotions for things that are of this caliber, especially. But everybody, just a sheet of paper, just reading off of it, you know? And I'm just talking to them like I'm talking to you guys.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, it's hard to look back on. But as soon as it was done, my whole life, it's been like, it's out of your control now, right? You lost the appeal meeting. You're losing a year of eligibility. At least you're not perma-banned, whatever. You move on. Yeah. Because it's not the end of the world, really, in the sense, maybe it feels like it right then and then. Can't remember what I'm trying to say, but.
Well, it kind of brings you back to the wrestling is wrestling, but then it almost feels like, because you talk about how much of a grind wrestling season is. I mean, what kind of love did it spur being able to come back? And I know you haven't been able to wrestle as much this year as you probably would have liked, but to renew that love to then go out there and compete, I feel like it just kind of burns a fire.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying it's good that you went through that by any means.
No.
But there's something more to it.
I think the hardest part about it was that I was not planning on coming back this year. Even though I could have gotten it even with my year last year, I was not planning on coming back this year until I got completely stripped of a whole year last year.
Sure.
And that process went from, well, I think they said that they were investigating us, which first of all, this is a whole illegal investigation. I don't know if anybody's been following that. It's also completely illegal. And we're all lawyered up and all that stuff. But that process went from April to December. Right after nationals, they said, okay, X amount of people are getting investigated. I'm like, all right, I'm on that list, whatever. I'm on the list. I'm not going to get permanently banned. All of a sudden I'm getting permanently banned here in August. They're telling me I'm permanently banned, you know? And then in October, they're telling me that might be back from the students. I don't even know how it works. It was
now,
just
when you say they're telling you, is this like a call to you, or is this like they go to Tom and Terry go to you?
It's through like articles. So like there's committees. There's like a student committee, and then there's the first few phases was the coaches telling us and the compliance telling us. But yeah, it just was boom, and then might be back, and then okay, now you're at a year ban, and then I had to apply for my medical year, and it was just the worst experience ever, like the least easy going ever.
Right. And just the roller coaster that you were talking about. Just like you feel like you're being slingshotted in a million different directions. Just the emotions that come along with that too, I'm sure.
And then having to go to those same people to apply for the medical year.
What?
They're like, yeah.
they made me my winnings. I won X amount of dollars, whatever. It wasn't that much. It was like I don't even know what it was. It was like $350 or something. That's what I won. And just because I guess I was a smart gambler. I had to pay that back to them. So they said, if you can come back, if you pay them the money, I'll come back. If you're letting me come back for $350, sure, take it. You can have it.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a really crazy experience. And now to be back, it was really cool to, let's see, what duel was it? Just this past, who did we face?
Northwestern.
It all runs together by this point. I'm in Carver all the time. Northwestern, you come back. It was so cool hearing like your walkout music again. Like, how does it feel to just be back in Carver and competing?
Just, it's what I wanted to do, this whole year. I wish I could have been out every single time. And it's cool to do for one last time in my life. It's my last time. So it was, and then we got Okie State coming up, which is huge. So excited for that.
Yeah. That's
That'll
going to be crazy.
rowdy.
It will be. Yeah. Gilman,
Yep.
coaching with them.
Yeah, Gilman, and then David Taylor is the head
Crazy.
coach.
How do you think Gilman's going to be? How is he as a coach? I haven't watched any of their stuff. Is he as like fiery as he was as a wrestler, or as a coach? You haven't watched?
I have no idea.
No clue.
No. Yeah, nothing really.
Very curious. It'll be very
Yeah,
interesting. I'm excited for it.
It'll be rowdy for sure. You can bet on that for sure.
We're not going to bet on it.
I was gonna say, pun intended.
We're not betting on anything, Nelson. Tell me about your walkout music really quickly. How do you pick that? What did you pick and why?
Well, I had for my one duel here, I had the Gambler as my walkout song just for one duel, just because a lot of people were asking me to do it. And I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll do that. But my walkout song is just an Eminem remix. I had no reason really for picking it. I love like club music.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah. I like to working out to club music I love it.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
So we've got
I'm
video
not kidding.
games, club music, climbing mountains,
And then
wrestling.
But then at any other time, if I'm listening to music, it's country.
Okay.
So I'm all over the board.
Cultured. That's what we'll call it.
There you go. There you go.
That is so
Yeah.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Club, like the
Yeah, oh, yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny because Ja'Cory Teamer, the transfer from ASU, he also loves music like that.
Okay.
And so we get along really well with that. The fighting over the stations, since we're on the same wavelength, it's got two guys fighting over the radio or the music that plays in Goshki.
Mm-hmm.
He's on my side, I'm on his, so we'll play good music for each other.
That's hilarious. No wonder you get migraines. That music is terrible.
Maybe.
That might be
It's
part
so,
of it.
I like that. Makes your heart rate get up.
Sure.
That's a fact.
The new facility, is it amazing?
Yeah, it's awesome. I feel like I tell people I feel like I'm a football player. I got this nice facility.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Carver Hawkeye was so nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so we're just spoiled.
Sure.
But the ice bath is so nice.
You a big cold plunge guy?
Yeah. Yeah. I like the cold plunge. We also have a hot tub. So you can go from hot to cold for
Mhm.
water therapy. That's so nice.
Mhm.
A lot of blood movement.
So we would
heal fast.
do contrast. We go hot, cold, hot, cold. I think we were 2 minutes apiece
Yep.
till you get out, just to get your legs back.
Feels good.
Hmm.
Feel like a new man after you get out. Yeah.
Well, is there anything that we didn't cover that you would love to cover? I
Everything
feel
you want to plug.
Oh,
No.
nothing. Get outside and or
Dig a
play video
hole.
games. Do whatever you want, really.
Yeah.
I don't really care. It doesn't affect me. Do what you want.
So good. Well, Nelson, thank you so much
Yeah,
for being
thanks.
on.
This was
This
great.
has been so much fun just to get to know you a little bit better, share some maybe uncommon or common knowledge with everybody, and get a little more insight into Tom and Terry because they're some unicorns. I think people think they know them, but
No, you don't know him. We could talk for hours and you still wouldn't know him that well.
I love it so much. Well, we got to get one of them on the podcast. So if you want to put a little bug in their ear, I
Oh.
might be a little intimidated. You know what Tom used to do to me?
Hmm.
Oh, I would get so mad, Nelson. I swear it was like a thing that he would do. He would, oh, Laura, how's it going? And he would come up and act like he was going to shake my hand. And so I'd go to shake his hand and then he'd like switch it all of a sudden. But he did it all the time. And so every single time I'd feel like an idiot when I walked away because I'd go for a handshake or I'd go for a fist bump because last time he gave me a fist bump and then he went for a high five. And I was like, you're messing with me. Don't you think he might be messing with me?
For sure.
Okay.
He does something much worse to me before practice. He'll hide my wrestling shoes.
Oh, no.
So annoying. Because then I think I misplaced them, but I've caught on now. It's 7 years in college. I obviously know who has my wrestling shoe. Tom,
Right.
where'd you put my wrestling shoe? I didn't take your wrestling. Tom, where'd you put my wrestling shoes? Gotta go find them. They're looking around, looking up in the rafters.
Oh my gosh. Validated. He's definitely
He's
messing
funny.
with my head. Got it. All right. Well, Nelson, thanks so
Yeah,
much. We wish
thank
you
you.
the best luck the rest of the season.
Thanks.